She stood outside the mansion she once called home, her dress torn, her skin bruised, her tears mixing with dust as a sharp wind blew across the grand courtyard. Behind her, laughter echoed, crystal glasses clinking, soft music playing, and the sound of a new love being celebrated. The man who once promised to stand by her forever now raised his hand in irritation, as if her existence itself was an inconvenience. Her 3 daughters clung to her legs tightly, confused and terrified, while the man turned his back without a flicker of regret. He believed she had failed him, failed to give him the one thing he believed defined his worth: a son. What he didn't know was that life had already placed the answer inside her, but the truth had not yet surfaced. And when it would, everything would change. Keep watching. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Amara had always been gentle, patient, and full of quiet strength. Her skin was deep and beautiful, her curls thick like a crown around her face. She never tried to outshine anyone, but her presence naturally comforted and warmed rooms. She married Imran when she was young, and she believed their union was rooted in love, partnership, and mutual respect. For years, she supported and encouraged him, building their household with her own hands. Their first daughter was born, then the second, and then the third. Each child brought joy to Amara, who saw no difference between having a son or a daughter. But Imran did not see the world as she did. Raised in a family where status, legacy, and appearances were prized above kindness, Imran believed that a son was not only an heir, but a reflection of his worth as a man. The pressure came from whispers at family gatherings, from colleagues who joked, and from a society that valued boys as carriers of lineage. Over time, those whispers became beliefs, and those beliefs turned into resentment. Imran began distancing himself. The love once visible in his eyes slowly evaporated. Amara felt the shift, but kept hoping that compassion would return. She prayed silently, never complaining. She trusted that patience and kindness could soften even the hardest heart. She had no idea that life was preparing her for the most significant breaking and the greatest awakening she would ever face. The day Imran met Rina was the turning point. She was glamorous, bold, and carried herself with the confidence of someone who had always been admired. Her skin was pale, her hair golden, her smile intentional. She was everything the world loudly praised, while Amara was everything it quietly overlooked. Rina became a frequent guest under the excuse of business networking. But soon, she became the center of Imran's world. The household atmosphere changed. Imran stopped coming home early. Amara began waking up to the scent of unfamiliar perfume on his clothes. Simple conversations became accusations. Kindness became rare. Silence filled spaces where laughter once lived. Every unkind word was a seed, and soon resentment grew into cruelty. Amara found out she was pregnant again. A new life, a new chance, a new beginning, or so she hoped. She felt the tiny heartbeat under her skin and held on to hope that this child might soften Imran's heart, might remind him of love, might save what was falling apart. But Imran saw it differently. He assumed even before the child was born that it would be another girl, and with that assumption, his patience vanished. One evening, in front of his party guests, wine glasses glistening, laughter floating in the air, Imran reached his breaking point. He grabbed Amara's arm tightly, anger flashing across his face. Rina watched with quiet satisfaction. The guests looked away, pretending not to notice. He declared that he was done with her, that she had brought nothing but failure into his life, that her daughters were burdens he never asked for, that she was not worthy of the life he provided. Then he did what no husband should ever do. He threw her and their 3 daughters out of the home. They built together. No suitcase, no money, No explanation for the children clinging to her dress. Amara walked away with trembling legs, pain carving itself into her memory. The mansion door closed behind her with a finality that echoed like thunder. But the world moves differently for those who endure with patience, and destiny had already begun rearranging itself in silence. Months passed. Amara worked tirelessly, washing clothes, cooking for others, stitching late into the night. She refused to let her daughters feel abandoned, and when the time came, she was taken to the hospital, breathing through deep waves of pain, alone but not broken. Hours later, she held her newborn, soft, tiny, warm, a boy. The son Imran had always claimed was the measure of his worth. Amara cried not because of victory, but because of grace. She named him Sammy, meaning elevated, heard, remembered. She knew now that love had always been with her. Not in the man she married, but in the children she brought into the world. Meanwhile, Imran's fortunes crumbled. Rena left him when the money faded. Business deals collapsed. The mansion grew quiet and cold. The legacy he chased dissolved into emptiness. And one day he saw Amara again, stronger, calmer, surrounded by her children like a queen with her kingdom. For the first time, he realized what he had thrown away. Imran tried to speak, but Amara had already healed. She did not need apologies to close the wound. Time had already stitched it into something wiser, deeper. She wished him peace, not because he deserved it, but because she refused to carry bitterness any longer. Her daughters grew into confident young women. Her son grew knowing love, not ego. They learned that strength does not come from power, but from kindness, patience, and self-respect. And Imran? He lived with the weight of regret, not as punishment, but as a consequence. The world often values the wrong things: skin color, gender, money, and titles. But none of these can build a home. Only love can. And sometimes the one who is cast out becomes the one who rises highest. Which country and city are you watching from? Take care.